या इदं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेषु अभिधासति भक्तिं मयि परं कृत्वा मामे व्यस्यति असंशयः. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed among the devotees only. For those who are non-devotees, will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculation. Anyone, however, who tries to sincerely present the Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. In spiritual life, understanding is very much coupled with practice. Without practice, the understanding of Bhagavad Gita doesn't come about. And practice requires faith. So here the term devotee which is mentioned is actually signifying or is actually representing or is actually talking about the practitioners who are having faith. That's the point. So those practitioners who are having faith, they are being described here as devotees. So when the Lord is telling that the message of Bhagavad Gita should be discussed with the devotees, it means it should be discussed with those who have faith. Discussion will always be fruitful with people who have faith. And such a discussion, as Bhagavatam first canto explains, such a discussion will benefit the hearer, will benefit the speaker. So, what to do with the faithless? So, the faithless can be introduced to the faithless can very much be introduced to the process of Krishna consciousness. The faithless can be introduced to uh, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. There is no problem in introducing the faithless. So, what do we mean by introduction? Introduction means we present what Bhagavad Gita contains. We present what is spiritual life, how it can benefit, and then we ask people, "Are you ready to invest faith? Is it not? Are you ready to put faith? Ready to invest your consciousness, your time?" When that happens, then the discussion goes forward. Is it not? Like in terms of divisions of dealings between four kinds of people, it is explained in the Shastras that for the innocent people, one should be very compassionate. But for those who are outright envious, one can neglect them. However, Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the purports of Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada quotes this, that the envious should be neglected. And then Prabhupada says, however, devotees of the Lord are more merciful and they take whatever risk. They don't mind taking any amount of risk, but they want to help and elevate such people also. So they reach to them with Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada explains. In fact, you will see, uh, in fact, a preacher has uh, a very important role and contribution in igniting faith in others. So faith is not a very complicated phenomenon. A preacher has a very great contribution in igniting faith in others. Krishna consciousness itself is very attractive. And if Krishna consciousness is presented in a sincere and pure manner, then such a practice of Krishna consciousness will attract people, is it not? So, as a devotee, as a preacher, one should know that the product or the commodity which you are selling is very powerful. It is itself very attractive. So, all we need to do is to present it as it is. To present it as it is. So, when we very nicely present the process of Krishna consciousness, uh, sure enough, it is very attractive, actually. So, the attractive nature appeals to people, and that's what brings out the element of faith in their hearts. Is it not? That's the point. Therefore, as a sadhaka, our focus should be on practicing ourselves very intensely and uh, sharing our experiences, our practices in a very warm and sweet manner. Is it not? So, preacher has a great role. A preacher has a great role, is it not? So, in how he presents, and so we don't have to go produce some fake statistics. We don't have to produce some fake stories. There is no dearth of statistics. There is no dearth of stories, is it not? There's no dearth of statistics. There's no dearth of stories. So we don't have to present any fake statistics. Modern day marketing styles goes on fake trajectories, but that also impresses people, is it not? Even though much of it will be fake, but the way it is presented, people get impressed. What to say of spiritual content, which is not at all fake, which is fully substantial. So this verse should not give rise to any kind of prejudice that okay, what are we doing? We are approaching the faithless. No, actually it is the preacher's responsibility to ignite faith in others by his good behavior, by his enthusiastic presentation, by his warm and enthusiastic dealings, warm and sweet dealings, and by his determined practice, display, example. By that, a people's faith is going to be ignited. So therefore, mere categorization is not going to work out. Rather, a preacher should be working hard to lighten up the faith in others. That's not the point. See, this was the problem, or this was the incompleteness, in the efforts of Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Maharaj disciples who went to London. It's not that nobody came to them. There were some people who came to them. But why they got turned back? Because although they were ready to give devotional service, the science and of Krishna consciousness, they did not took a few steps further to work on the people who came near them to help them come up to those levels. So the people who came to these devotees in London, they were not much different in quality and habits uh, than the first set of devotees Prabhupada got. But whereas Prabhupada did some extra efforts to help them pick it up. Like Prabhupada used to himself cook and serve and then wash the vessels. That is an extra endeavor of investing in the lives of these devotees. Prabhupada would, Prabhupada was even ready to share the bathroom with them. It is explained, initial days, Prabhupada would also stand in the line, queue for going to the bathroom. So Prabhupada would even share the washroom with them. So that is exactly how Prabhupada was giving them respect and credit and warmth and love. And by that, he pulled them up. So the classic first initiation. The first initiates didn't even knew what it means. They just thought, okay, something. The next day they came to know what it means. So it was unheard what Prabhupada was asking. So according to their culture, Prabhupada was asking too much. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. What to do then? What remains to do in life after that? So that was the culture. And so how they got hooked? Because Prabhupada worked so much on their cases, individual cases, giving them time, giving them credit, giving them respect, giving them love, feeding them, guiding them. So they took it up not on the basis of some philosophy, or they took it up not on the basis of the purity of their hearts or something. They just took it up on the basis of uh, so Prabhupada triggered their faith with his warmth. Is it not? That's the point. So it's not sufficient to simply in that fashion tag people as faithless and cast them off or drop them away. Oh, it's faithless. If people are faithless, what is our homework? What are we doing? Is it not? If people are faithless, but what are we doing? Is it not? It is our responsibility to help people maintain, preserve, nourish their faith. Is it not? This is how a preacher sees things. And this kind of vision is very pleasing to the Lord. So it may appear by Krishna's statement, Krishna is only concerned about devotees, he is not concerned about non-devotees. So devotee, non-devotee is not much of a difference. It's only a difference of a little quantum of faith. That's it. A little quantum of faith. So once those quantums are installed in the heart of the other person, immediately he becomes a devotee because the devotion service starts. Is it not? And that's why a sadhaka, a devotee, a preacher is very, very enthusiastic in reaching out. So reaching out is very important. No prejudices in reaching out. We reach out, we give respect to people, give them credit, encourage them, give them prasad, give them a nice spiritual vision, give them a good example, get them connected to a beautiful community of devotees. Many of them will be able to pick it up. So therefore, as a preacher of Krishna consciousness, see, one of the prerequisite qualities of a preacher is that a preacher should himself have tremendous faith in the scriptures. What kind of faith is required on behalf of the preacher? He should have that faith that Krishna consciousness is the original understanding of how to lead life. Krishna consciousness is most valuable and Krishna consciousness is most practical. So if I present Krishna consciousness very nicely by my example, and very sincerely and earnestly by my speech or words, uh, the people will get attracted. That's the point. That people will get attracted because Krishna consciousness intrinsically is very, very attractive. Therefore, let me not hesitate. Let me strongly, seriously practice, and let me humbly and in a very cultured manner share that knowledge. Is it not? But vigorously, humbly but vigorously. That's the point. So yes, spiritual life has qualifiers. There is no doubt about it. Just like here, there is a qualifier. You need to be a devotee before the discussion of Gita starts. You need to be a faithful person. So there is a qualifier which is there. But the devotee is the instruments in the hands of the Lord. Their mission is to train everyone to pass the barometer of qualification. Is it not? And that is why such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Because such a devotee goes out of his limits, helping people becoming qualified, helping people igniting their faith, and in this way, passing them towards Krishna or escorting them towards Krishna. That is why such a devotee is very, very dear to Krishna. Okay, let's read the next verse. Yes. So sometimes one is just wondering, how should I present? What should I speak? What should I not speak? See, that meditation is very good, but that meditation should not lead to paralysis. Because many things are not understood by philosophy logic anyways. They are only understood by sweet and warm dealings. That's it. Yes, just like a psychiatric doctor. Yes. So we are all like spiritual psychiatric doctors. Teachers like that. So our process is not judging who is qualified, who is not qualified. Our task is to build the people's qualification. That is what is our seva. Our seva is not to judge who is qualified, who is not qualified. Hey, this fellow not qualified, envious fellow, get lost. Yeah, D grade, C grade, B grade. That is not our job. Our job is how to help people becoming qualified. So sometimes we may do some ranking, but that's not that we are. We just do some ranking so that whom to focus, who can be saved. Like that. And once we save them, we can go for others also. Is it not? No problem in that. So that is our point. Our job is not to simply judge. Simply being judgmental, the mission cannot move. No? The mission will only move when we help. When our focus is, our goal is to help people becoming qualified. Yes. So that's why Prabhupada used to say, "No, you didn't have any qualifications. So I built qualifications for you. I gave you qualification." And then Prabhupada said, "Okay, so whatever I have given you, you give it to others." Is it not? Both the things Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada said, "You didn't have qualifications. I gave qualifications to you." And then Prabhupada said, "Okay, whatever I have given you, give it to others." Another time he said, not at the same time. So therefore, in the same spirit, we should reach out to people. Just saying that, okay, he's a bad fellow, she's a bad fellow, is not going to work out. That's not what Krishna expects from us. Krishna expects that we become instruments of mercy, carriers of mercy. We should not become like Yamaduts passing judgments. So we're not carriers of Yamaloka. No, we're carriers of mercy, Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka. So the difference is so therefore a devotee should not be judgmental. A devotee should rather, so that should be the meditation that, okay, how, what else is needed for me to inspire this person to take it up? That should be our focus always. Okay, the question is, okay, so we may not be qualified to touch some people because it will be complicated cases. So in that case, that discrimination is there. Actually, one of the good things about Kali Yuga is that nobody is a rock star in Kali Yuga. So everybody is so even though people may claim themselves to be hardcore, but that hardcore is also very minimal because Kali Yuga is manda sumanda matayo actually. So even their materialism is also not that deep rooted because Kali Yuga nobody can go that deep rooted in anything actually because that way. So therefore there is nothing much to fear. There is nothing much to fear. We have to understand that we are not in the, so there is nothing much to fear. Like we have seen devotees who are illiterate, and they are preaching to industrialists having $1 million empires. How is it possible? How is it possible? The point is, one need not be fearful. Whatever we know, we present. Is it? Krishna consciousness is simple but very powerful. Is it not? So it's not that to preach to a complex person, we need so complex person, only a complex person is required to preach to a complex person. No, complexity is eradicated by simplicity. Complexity doesn't necessarily require complexity to eradicate. That's the point. Like say for example, to scientists, should we only speak in a scientific language? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So Prabhupada used the same language, but he could attract many scientifically minded devotees. He could attract many, scientifically very, high acumen devotees, like our His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, like Sadaput Prabhu. So Prabhupada attracted them, is it not? Now they are very highly scientifically minded devotees, like that. So many of them got attracted, in the initial days. Like Krishna Chaitanya Swami is there, very scientifically minded, very research minded. Bhakti Vigyan Swami, very scientifically minded. So Prabhupada could attract even such people, But Prabhupada was not publishing papers. So Prabhupada was not showing spiritual formulations in some through Schrodinger equation or yeah, quantum formulations. I would never did any such thing like that. The point is, it's not. So the whole point is that the person who is in complexity, he himself knows that no the emptiness of his own complex way of life. This is not. So the modern day world, as you say, no, smiling faces, crying hearts. Everybody is like that. So externally, person may appear to be very big, but internally is hollow only. Like sometimes here we feel in KGB, okay, how can we preach to professors? Na? They are no, similar Dabba mindset as Dabba as any other second year, third year. No? Nothing much, is it not? Maybe the body has grown a bit old, that's all. Like that. And some ego components have come in, that's all. So, but the point is that such a person, it's not age. Obviously, with age, it becomes difficult to understand spiritual life, but a person can still struggle and pick it up like that. So it's never a gone case story like that. So now the whole point is anyone can understand. Therefore, we should not be much fearful. Oh, he's a professor in IIT. So what? You know, he's a professor in IIT. That means he's more miserable. You know? His life is more miserable. You know? Because he sees so much technology nearby him. He'll be more intoxicated in that sense. So, or may say, okay, he's a very big industrialist. Doesn't matter actually. Krishna consciousness does not depend on externals. Rather, the more one is complicated, the more one needs Krishna consciousness. And simple presentation of Krishna consciousness is good enough. Now, the next point is that when we are preaching, we are never alone. We are never alone. The whole parampara is there with us. So somebody is suppose very powerful academic and he is asking a very powerful academic question. We have no clue, what is he talking about. He is talking about some Taittiriya Upanishad, and we have no clue. We only know Harinam Eva Kevalam. So, but he's saying, no, we'll discuss on other subject matters. No problem. So, what to do? No, we have some no, devotee scholars. We take his question, we pass on. We take that answer, we pass on. Finish. Is it not? So, it's not that, okay, let me first become a Sanskritagya, and I will also read all the 108 Upanishads and the Taittiriya Upanishad also, and the Mundaka Upanishad, and this Upanishad, that Brahma Aranyaka Upanishad, and all that. Why to waste time? Is it not? There's some devotees are already expert. We just connect them, or somebody is. So that's the point. Is it not? Uh, so we connect a person to a relevant candidate sometimes. Then such a person, like I remember, I was a student. I was in fourth year, and I was doing follow up. So one of the candidates I was doing follow up was a computer science candidate. He was institute rank one. So, and everybody is very fearful. This fellow is a nut. He cannot turn up. He used to look very hallucinated. He had long hair. He used to look always as if he's in a different world. Like that he used to look. And now Acharya told me better focus. Why to tag people and just leave them? Okay, it's a complex case and all that. He said, let's try. We do our sincere effort. Let's see what happens. We pray to Krishna. We get some. So then we were trying. So I would discuss with Prabhu, he would tell, and he would think, he would discuss. At one time, we were thinking. So we had one of our devotees who had gone to US. We got this boy connected to him a little bit, because we knew that okay, he's IR1, he has all those vectors, hair standing up, like that. So we got him connected to a US devotee, and he was discussing with him and all very happy. Is it not? Very happy. So, but that doesn't mean we cannot touch that case because we don't know how to do, uh, uh, how to handle these IR1 type of cases and their ambitions and all. No, we can always find out somebody who can give that little element in. And other things, how to practice Krishna consciousness, we can help them. How to cook prasad, how to help him, how to teach him how to cook prasad, how to teach him how to do deity worship. Other things we can do, is it not? Only that one element we may not know. That okay, institute rank one, how he can enter an MIT, suppose. Then we have devotees who are there. We can just connect. That element can be borrowed from the Vaishnava community. That is the point. So therefore, there's nobody who is a complex case in that sense. So we can change their settings actually. That's why a devotee gets the power to change the other people's settings like that. So Maya Parita Jnana Asuri Bhava Mashrita and the Dushkritina. So all these Dushkritinas are name tags for people when they are not introduced to Krishna consciousness. When we work on their case, all their nomenclatures get evaporated. So as long as they go on accepting, their whole settings, they can go on advancing. The moment they become stubborn and close the doors, then they get stuck up. But still, a preacher has powers. He can still increase their punya karma by giving them prasad, by giving good behavior. Still, is it not? Just like Vidurji did for Dhritarashtra. How much prasad Dhritarashtra would have taken? Dhritarashtra, a lot of follow-up. Decades of follow-up. But Vidurji continued that. But sure enough, the transformation can happen. So a devotee, by Krishna's mercy, gets powers to do a very tangible contribution in other people's lives. And that is how we should be. We should not be in the mode of dropping people off, judging people off and all that. न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रियकृत्तमा भाविता न च मे तस्मात् अन्या प्रियतरो भुवि. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Adheshyate chaya imam dharmyam samvadamavayo jnana yagyena tenaham ishtasyamiti me mati. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Shraddhavananusuyascha Shunuyadapi yo naraha yopi mukta subalokan prapnuyat punya karmana. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gita's being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class, and in that class, not all students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. They have faith in him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all the sinful reactions. and after that attain to the planetary system where the righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to become a pure devotee attains the result of righteous activities. As a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from the sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord. Generally, those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. The word punya karmana is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices, like the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Mentioned in the Vedic literature, those who are righteous in performing devotional service but who are not pure can attain the planetary system of the pole star or Dhruvaloka, where Dhruv Maharaj is presiding. He is a great devotee of the Lord